Welcome to Into the Minds of Madness. I'm Paul McWhirter.
I'm Chris Dicker, and we are about to watch It. Finally.
Ooh, so excited.
Stay tuned.
Here we go. Cue theme song. Oh man.
And we're back. Yeah.
Oh my god. See, now we can freely talk about it.
Yes,
too.
we've been dying to talk about it like the whole way
The
over.
movie finished probably about 2 hours ago. We needed to like decompress for a second.
Yeah, we needed to like talk about
started.
other things so it just
Yeah.
so we didn't fanboy out too much.
It did keep circling back to it. Though. It did.
Like we kept bringing up the saved points we were going to bring up and think, oh
yeah.
wait, we're just talking about now.
Yeah,
Shit.
exactly. Yeah. So where do we start, man? Where do you want to start?
It was good.
It was really good.
I am happy to say it lived up to the hype.
Yeah,
It fucking... Oh man, we've got a good...
I won't say it defied my expectations,
No, yeah, it's true. It
but
didn't...
it kind of did, because like I kind of went in thinking like this could be anything. I'm so attached to that book now as well. Like
Yeah.
I'm incredibly attached to those characters.
But for like 90% of it, it ticked. That's enough for me. Like it ticked 90% of my boxes. That it's like, yep, it succeeded. This was a really good film.
It definitely didn't tick all my boxes, but it was almost like I had like more boxes than I needed just in case.
Yeah, true. Like because I'm only like halfway through where this movie is taking place. This one is set, and like so yeah, you know a bit more about me. Like you knew what more to
about
expect.
the story. Yeah.
So I was a bit more out of it.
Yeah.
And like, I like that. I like going in blank to films. So this was a nice. I knew enough, but I didn't know what to expect really. So
yeah.
and I'm just pleasantly surprised with the kind of film we got.
Yeah. We did read a review from a guy on ABC Radio that said it wasn't scary.
Yeah.
It was nowhere near as scary as I expected.
Yeah, it was hyped that it was going to be this terrifying thing.
Yeah, a bit with the R rating and everything, but like, I think it was but for me, I wasn't too scared, and I'm really happy about that.
Yes.
It meant I could enjoy it more.
It was enjoyable.
I did not close my eyes once.
See, I'm proud of the pair of us, like, because I genuinely like thought I was going to be, popcorn in front of my face and all that, but like even like when we're walking up and you and our mate were freaking out.
Yeah, so we went and saw this with one of my absolute best mates and my housemate Zach.
Yeah. And you two were freaking yourselves out.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me do it. Let me pull the microphone away a bit. But this is what I kept doing on the way there. Just kept going. Huh!
Yeah. You kept jumping at nothing.
Yeah. Just like hyping myself up for it. But I am very proud of us because we reacted less than some of the other people in the cinema. And I can't believe that. I thought we'd be like the ones being like, oh fuck.
Like I now know I am desensitized. Because like in the parts where people were jumping, I had the biggest smile on my face, and people were like, oh no, they just like did that to a kid, and I'm like, oh man, they just did that to a kid.
Yeah.
Go Pennywise.
So let's set the scene a little bit too when we went and saw this. So we sat down at Broadway.
Yep.
Broadway Shopping Centre. We sat down next to two girls. So I believe they were speaking Dutch, I think.
Oh really?
Which
Yeah, I had a few
out.
in there. Backpackers or something.
And then as it went on, I'm just like, and I mentioned something like, it's like, oh well, that's good. If we swear or if we start going crazy, they're not going to really react too much.
Yeah,
and
not going to understand.
Like, what am I talking about? They're in an English-speaking movie. Of course, they can understand what the fuck we're saying.
Oh my god, we are idiots.
And like,
we actually genuinely agree. Like, yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine now. Like, and then towards the end, I'm just like, holy fuck, of course they do. Like,
and they probably heard our stupid conversation as well.
Exactly. Like, it was just because we were so overexcited. Like,
and yeah, so we went into this very excited, expecting a lot, and I can just say we had a really good time. It was a really good movie. Like, this is the way it's presented. It's very much a fun movie as well.
It is very fun,
and you can definitely take a bunch of mates and go see this.
Yeah.
You'll get jolts, but it's just fun.
Yeah, and I guess I'm finding a gripe now a little bit. It's like it, because I was going to say that it was good that it had this, but then now I'm thinking about it, it's like I wish I had more now. Like that sense of adventure as well.
Okay.
It kind of, I feel like this movie also, it kind of straddles a few different types of movies as well. It's not just a horror movie, no way.
No.
Like,
it's a scary kid adventure movie.
Yeah. And I feel like it only had like got an R rating because it's kind of kids being.
Yeah, because you really don't see that many adults.
No.
They're there for when they need to be there, when like you would expect an adult to be there. But for the majority of the time, it's the kids alone taking on this thing, and it's I've said before, I'm all for, you know, violence against children in films, as fucked up as that sentence just was, because it's like it's a horror movie. Everyone is
it's like
free.
In other words, nothing should be off limits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's not the world that they are in.
As long as you're doing it tastefully, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I think they did it.
They did this very fucking well.
Yeah. And just some of the scares and the way they presented Pennywise, just everything about it was very. You know what? It's just like a breath of fresh air. Everyone keeps saying that horror is being remade and all that, and it's like, this is just what horror should be.
And we keep saying the same thing over and over again, kind of thing. But this is like, this was fucking, man. This is
refreshing.
Yeah, this is. Man, I'm really.
Paul is still like riding on a high from the movie. He's enjoying himself.
Really riding a high. I adored this movie. Like, it was so like, and okay, let's get into it a little bit deeper.
Well, let's set up what this film actually is, because we all know it's supposed to be like a two-parter, and it's, you know, there's flashbacks and all that sort of stuff in the novel and in the miniseries.
Yeah.
But they did this right, and
this is very linear too.
Very linear,
even down to having the like a timestamp, like a date stamp.
Yeah, we got the month every now and then.
Yeah.
Because we are just following the Losers Club.
Yeah.
As they eventually become the Losers Club and meet each other over the summer break.
Yeah.
And it is just them taking it on. There is no, like in the miniseries, no phone calls from Mike in the current day or anything like that. No. It is just the kids' experience. And this is what I like as well, that they met Mike like they do in the books, like, and save him. That rock fight was fucking incredible, but we'll get to that. Yeah. Oh man, just so many good scenes.
I know, right?
But
I'm just sorry. I'm just gonna grab my notebook and just note down some stuff so I don't miss anything. But so I want to get deep in this because this was.
And so if you're listening to this, you're familiar with it. Like if you've seen the one we just saw, or you've seen the 1990, or you read the book, or the whole trifecta.
yeah.
You're familiar with it. So we're not going to go too much, because the movie, it stays true to the original novel, and as like a lot of people have said, and I'll agree, like, from what I've read, it sticks pretty close to a degree. Like, it takes liberty where it needs to, but for what it is, it felt as close as we were going to get to the book in like an hour and a half, 2 hour movie.
One thing I will say that kind of annoyed me a little bit is that they didn't, none of them from memory, none of them encountered Pennywise for the first time like that in the book. None of them.
Yeah,
except for Bev with the drain pipe.
Yeah. They were all different. So like, and also we didn't mention like the it's been brought forward a few decades and set in the 1980s.
Starts off in 1988 October.
Yep.
A couple of weeks after I was born, baby. Yeah. So
it's set in the 80s. So it makes sense for what that the first interaction with the Pennywise would be different. Like, we're not going to get the werewolf with Richie, because it makes sense, because that movie was scary back then in the 50s. Like, that werewolf movie he saw was scary to him.
That's true.
And that would have been scary then, because that was like, there's no comparisons. They can't watch something else for, you know what I'm trying.
I know.
There's nothing to compare it to. Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
But now it's like,
which is understandable.
So like, it would just felt really out of place for it to for some of the things to come across.
Yeah.
It would have been weird if the creature from the Black Lagoon came out and was it the creature in one of the in the novel? It attacks the kid in the park.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not going to see creature because it's no.
That's not what's scary. Yeah, because that was set in 54. The original one.
58.
No, 58. Yeah, and then it's 84. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 58. So it's like all those movies have come out, so it makes sense. It makes complete sense.
So I was aware when they've gone gone off the novel, they changed it.
Yeah.
But I was okay with it. Usually I'm a bit like, you could have done that differently, or you could have stuck a bit closer. But this was like, that made sense though.
Yeah, I was that's the other thing. Like that didn't rub me the wrong way. Like, I think the only reason why I want to see the book thing is because I just want to see that on screen.
Yes.
But the way they did it, I was perfectly happy with. Perfectly happy with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't really call it a gripe, really. Yeah.
Like the major thing I'll give it was the pacing was perfect.
It was. It
right near the end, like near the beginning of like the third act, like
it's like just after Neibolt Street.
Yeah. It did feel to me like it was just about to wrap up, and it was about to go in a lull, but then there was a couple of nice little light moments and all that, and you brought it back up again. So like the pacing was really good. It just kept one after the other, and it felt like they were always progressing. They were always finding out something new.
Yeah.
They were coming up against a new confrontation, and they had to get over something themselves, and it just was like a steam train.
Yeah, it was. It was. So let's talk about the actors.
Oh man,
were you happy with all 7?
You know what? Only from nostalgia from the miniseries.
From the miniseries, yeah.
But everyone was spot on.
Yep.
But Stan with curly hair hit me wrong.
I was gonna say Stan was probably the only one that I had any kind of gripes with. He didn't feel.
He was a bit weaker.
Yeah, his acting was a bit weaker. I feel like, yeah. He played it well, kind of in the way that Stan is a bit of a, and
stick to the rules.
Yeah, and kind of foreshadowing the fact that he's the one who doesn't come back.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah. So he kind of played that well, but yeah, there were moments where I was just like, that was a big. I feel like I could have done that a bit better.
Yeah, I just didn't believe it was Stan.
Couldn't give that another take. But at the same time, especially when he has his little his kind of little tizzy in the park.
Yeah,
when he's just like, it's not real. None of this is real. Like, that kind of came off a little bit.
I almost felt like the other kids were just like looking at him a bit funny, like,
yeah.
What are you saying? It just felt like a weird thing someone was saying.
Yeah.
Like they've all been agreeing, and then it's like, oh, wait, someone's got to disagree.
It wasn't the greatest, was it, the way it came off? Yeah.
No. But apart from him, everyone else.
But there were other moments when I didn't even know. Like, after he gets his face chewed.
Man.
The way that he reacts after that.
Perfect.
That was great.
Perfect. That was pure fear.
Yeah. So when I think about it, it's kind of like there's redeeming scenes for him. So
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It's more like the with the kids that just like when he has a strong, solid bit of dialogue amongst the kids. That's where it kind of shows.
Yes.
Especially if it's a really like.
It kind of sticks out a little bit.
Yeah, and it's one of those moments where you're like heartwarming kind of scene. Where they're getting together, and then it's just like
And he's very wet blanket.
He is a bit.
Wet blanket. But there were other moments of it that of his performance that I absolutely loved. So
him and Richie's back and forth was pretty good too. He had a very good
true. Yep.
Very good chemistry between those two.
Yeah. Let's talk about Richie.
Yeah, let's jump ahead. Finn Wolfhard.
Oh man.
He
was probably the person that I was most worried about going into it.
Me too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Me too, a little bit.
Just because I think that goes back to the miniseries, the fact that it was Seth Green, and like that kind of took me out of it because it was Seth Green a little bit, and he's got that very 90s kid acting about him in that as well.
But I was prepared for the cringe.
Me too.
I was ready for it.
Me too.
And it was just so nice that he was funny. Like he was.
Yeah. He actually. Oh man.
And it's immature humor.
There was some huge laughs in this movie.
Oh yeah, it was a funny movie.
Huge laughs. Like you saw how like I was doubling over.
Oh
like,
yeah, me too, man. There was some really
man.
fucking,
There was
like,
some it's fucking great jokes in this.
As I said, it's kids saying shit like, like, I'm gonna fuck your mum and
like yeah, well, like 13, 14 year olds I would do like, and that was the first thing I said when the credits started rolling and we were walking out. I was just like, I just fucking love hearing like 13-year-olds just swear like fucking dockers.
Funny.
It's so funny because they're just kids, and it's like so.
And it's always that like slight bit where they don't quite understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
But they're still like giving all like Eddie confronts we're jumping ahead a little bit here with this bit, but like Eddie confronts his mother about being on placebos.
So good.
And he's just like, Mum, they're gazebos.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. Like, because it's such a, because that's a really powerful moment in the book too, and the way that they kind of almost kind of like undercut it.
Yeah.
But in a really good way. Like, it was almost like they couldn't get the moment out of it that they wanted, like that really emotional kind of thing about that interaction.
Yeah, like,
so instead they kind of undercut it a little bit to kind of almost to get it like through the door. You know what I mean?
But
they did it perfectly. It was perfect.
I really believe the kids were kids.
Yeah.
These felt like smart kid decisions, but still kid decisions. Yeah. And yeah, that's how a kid would react.
Like they're kind of just hitting puberty, and they're kind of like acting out as well a little bit. And
like, speaking of that, with I have heard a few things with some of the reviews that people are complaining about the screaming, like the kids screaming and stuff like that. It's like that's what a kid would do.
And yeah, man, and I completely forgot about that too. I'm glad you brought that up. Eddie screams, man.
That
was so perfect.
He was testy popping like crazy.
It was awesome. Like that was kind of. Yeah,
and those scenes needed that. They really needed that hit of a group of children screaming.
Yeah, literally just like hysterical. Just like, man, have you been to a fucking like a theme park or something like that and been anywhere near kids? They're yelling and screaming for no fucking reason, especially when they're together. Like,
so if there's a giant fucking clown that just pulled himself out of a fridge and re-put his body together.
That was great.
You're going to scream like a bitch.
Yeah, you're going to scream.
I think I would have screamed like a bitch.
I totally would have too.
My testicles would have went up inside me.
Yeah, exactly.
They ran in fear. Like,
man. So, so, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, the kids felt like kids. And back to Richie, he just felt like that really smart mouth.
Yep.
Just cannot stop talking and...
No.
Just a little shithead.
Yeah, just a fucking little shithead. I bet. I don't know. I'll wait to the end for that bit. Because it is at the end. But I also thought, I thought that Eddie had some really good jokes too.
Yeah, he was
had
outstanding.
Some really fucking good jokes.
He was, and like I love the actor who played him.
Me too.
He was a fucking mature kid.
He
seemed like he was nailing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was just. Really professional little actor.
Yeah, he was fucking great. I really enjoyed him. Sophia Lillis, who plays Bev.
She was great.
She was so good.
And like the obvious joke was made when like Richie's like who invited Molly Ringwald. Oh, but she's Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, but man, it's
in the best way possible.
Yeah,
like, it's adorable.
The way he calls that out as well is so funny.
Yeah,
like oh my god. Because it's such like an intense moment too.
Maybe that's why they said it in the 80s so they can get that joke in.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, just to get that joke in. Okay, speaking of 80s references, New Kids on the Block.
Oh, man, all right.
Because good is this?
Ben, and the actor who played Ben is my favorite.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have a real soft spot for Ben.
Ben is our favorite character, easily.
When he came on screen, we both looked at each other and were just like, yeah, there's our boy. There's our boy Benny.
And he's so chubby.
He's
so chubby.
He's so good.
I just want to just smash his face together. He's...
Like, his reactions and stuff as well were just priceless too.
Yeah, he was such a good...
Yeah.
And, like, there wasn't funny because he was fat. It was funny because he can pull his faces and his reactions.
There weren't any fat jokes either. It was just the bullies calling him tits.
That's it, yeah.
Which was hilarious. Like,
hey, tits.
Hey, tits. Like, it just comes out of nowhere. It's just like, that's pretty funny.
But,
yeah, but how much do we fucking love Ben, though?
Ben was so good.
Yeah, when he came on screen, just our reaction was just like, oh, yeah, here we go.
And he's a tough little nugget.
He
I
is.
really like how they wrote him.
Yeah.
so good. Like where he deals with Bowers, the rock fight.
The rock fight was so good.
Just that scream he did.
Yeah, because what is he? Yeah, Henry says something about how he fucked Bev.
Yeah.
Some bullshit just like about taking what you want, some shit like.
Yeah, you guys are working too hard. You just have to ask, and she'll give it to you.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. And he's like, she gave it to me, and then Ben just fucking loses it.
And everyone's just kind of taken aback, like, "Whoa, what's wrong with him?"
And then Anthrax starts playing, and they just
Antisocial by Anthrax plays.
Yeah,
fuck, that's so good.
So that's when they meet Mike. Yeah, that's the Mike meeting.
But so yeah, Ben easily my favorite. New Kids on the Block. That's what we're talking.
New Kids on the Block. That's right.
Because he meets Bev, and he's infatuated with Bev from that moment onwards. But she asked him like, "What's he listening to?" And she discovers New Kids on the Block. Yeah. And that is the best running joke throughout this movie. Yeah. The scene when they go back to his place.
When they go back to Ben's place.
And
he's got all of his research, so he's the one doing the research instead of Mike. Oh well, no. Actually, no. Well, no. Ben does find out about some of this stuff.
Yeah, because he goes to the library.
Because he goes to the library a lot. But it ends up being Mike who works out all this stuff.
Yeah, he's got his dad's old.
Yeah, because his dad's old journals and stuff. But yeah, they go in and they he's got it all up on his walls, like detective style.
And like when he runs in as well, he gets all the dirty magazines.
Oh yeah, throws them all out first, and then leans against the closet door as Bev walks in. Oh man. And then and then Bev goes to close his door. He's got a New Kids on the Block poster.
And the way that it was just like quick close-ups, like bam, bam,
yeah,
bam.
It was so good. It came out of nowhere. And fucking great joke.
And it was just silent because it was just the fear on Ben's face, her smiling, and then putting the door back so no one would see it.
I love it. But just the look she gives Ben when she finds it. She doesn't be like, "Hey guys, look at this shit."
Yeah,
she just
totally caught him out.
I fucking got you. I got you, dude. I got you.
Ben, he carries it for me. Like he just stole every scene for me.
Ben was great,
and that whole interaction in his room was probably his best scenes. Like some of the best humor between natural them. Nothing major's happened yet, so they're still pretty happy and carefree and all that. And there's just that bit where they walk in and Richie's like, "Whoa." And Ben's like, "Oh, pretty cool." And he said, No, nothing's cool here.
There is nothing cool about this at all. Fuck, that's so good.
That bit really got me.
Yeah, that really got me. I'd forgotten about that bit.
It's just a lot of Richie's a good comedic relief.
He's got great timing.
Yeah, and
Finn Wolfhard has great timing.
The way they put Richie in places, like when they're taking care of I think they've come into town for there's the parade going on and they're just talking in the alley.
Oh, yep.
And Richie's in the background attempting to play the bugle that he's stolen from the guy in the parade. And then he gets the shit when the guy takes it back. It's like, what the hell, man? He wanders over in his chubby little legs and his shorts. Fucking.
Oh, the shorts were great, weren't they?
The shorts
were great.
So good.
I want to say something about Bill.
Yeah.
That kid. When it's zoomed out, you're just like, the fuck? He looks like that? But then when it's close up, he seems so much older than he is.
Really?
Yeah, just the look on his face. Just his face.
Got an old face.
Up, yeah. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
All I could think of
I did like Bill, though. The kid who played Bill.
He was really good.
What do you rate the stutter?
It could have been better.
It could have been better, but it was nowhere near as bad as the 90s version.
Yeah, it wasn't offensive.
As my old Bastian from Neverending Story.
It felt natural. One thing, though, the entire time I was just
sorry, in the miniseries, I feel like they overdid the stutter.
Yeah.
As in, used it too much.
Yeah, it just kind of, some of the moments, when he's getting frustrated, should have just been a bit more, really restricting him, getting him being frustrated with it.
Yeah.
But again, we're complaining about a stutter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The only thing, though, with Bill, I was just like, dude, stand up fucking straight. Pull your shoulders up.
Yeah, and whenever he'd point, It's a weird thing.
He's a really skinny kid.
Yeah, and he points in the weirdest way, like as if he doesn't have strength in his finger.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really point. He kind of like puts his finger like kind of halfway out and then kind of lifts his hand towards it, so he doesn't have to like straighten it.
He does really look a bit like, have a sandwich, mate. Like
he's super skinny, isn't he? Super fucking skinny.
But he brought it as Bill.
Yeah.
I feel he did a really good job as Bill and didn't come across as whiny or anything. But he was still very strong, like he was in the '90s one. And I thought that was gonna be like the major gripe with the kids. Like we haven't spoken about Mike either yet, but I thought there was gonna be the chemistry was gonna be off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, I thought it wasn't gonna be as quite as heartwarming as it was in the '90s one, but some of the like the off the hand comments and like the way they screamed in the group and all that, that felt total on the spot.
It felt real. Didn't
it felt very natural. It felt like we were watching 7 mates hanging out.
Yeah.
And loved how like dirty they got. You know what I mean? Like they look like kids
getting fucking hard too. It was great.
Running down hills and in the creek and shit like that, and
just fucking destroying each other. Just with these fucking great quips. Like I was gonna say something I completely forgotten now.
What do you think about Mike?
Yeah, I really liked
Mike. I liked Mike too. I liked how quiet and like he was very solemn. And he knew what he kind of already had an idea.
His parents had died as well in a fire, which wasn't anything to do with the black spot, which it kind of
that was rewritten to be that. Yeah.
To just be a house fire instead, but they still do reference the black spot, obviously. At least I don't think so. I can't remember. No, it doesn't matter. I'm planning on seeing it again, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
on those bits. Yeah, I really liked Mike. I feel like he was kind of underused as well.
I was just about to say that. I didn't feel like we had enough Mike.
Yeah,
he kind of got introduced to the group a bit late. I felt
that's what happens in the books as well. So that's them, I guess, staying true to it. But I like the whole thing of like how he works in pretty much like a slaughtering place.
Yes, I did like that arc for him.
Really good. That was a really cool arc.
Yeah. And I like that became part of the final confrontation as well.
Yeah,
he's got the bolt gun.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about the confrontation because that is just.
Let's leave that to the end. We'll just talk about the entire confrontation because that is.
Oh,
I really said that is bellissimo, and then I was just like, "That's gonna get us started on Andy Muschietti."
Don't start it.
Just like a mama used to make.
A big bottle of Muschietti.
Oh my god, we were saying that for like
all the way home.
All the way home for like a good 45 minutes. We couldn't stop ourselves.
Like a mama used to make.
Andy Muschietti, just like a mama used to make.
Oh man, I just realized and that was his movie as well.
Yeah, Mama.
Oh man, didn't even realize I was referencing something.
Andy Muschietti, just like he made a mama.
Oh. I hope someone got pissed off with that.
Oh god, yeah, me too, because that was horrendous.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I feel bad for you listeners. My apologies. All right,
so we've talked about the cast.
Yeah, there was Bev's dad.
So yeah,
he was perfect because he really fucking pissed me off. Like, which is what he should have been doing.
He creeped me out, and
they totally lent on the sexual assault thing as well.
I love that they did it. Yeah, to be honest, like I hate seeing it.
But they didn't like ram it down your throat.
No.
It depends on how you interpret his words, pretty much.
Exactly.
And he said
she knows what he's saying, but we may misinterpret it as something else.
Yeah.
And the way he delivers it, he's so cold, and he's thought about what he's going to say. And
all right, let's move forward from him.
Yeah,
because I'm going to get really angry in that.
We don't want to talk about him too much.
Yeah,
he's just a minor prick in the movie,
and a very fucking very problematic. But I loved how Bev cut her hair off.
That was a good scene. Yeah,
in the sink, and then that hair.
Let's talk about because we could just keep talking and talking and talking, but let's get the really cool shit out of the way. Let's talk about the first interactions with Pennywise.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go with Bev because that one is so cool. Yeah. I did not expect the hair element at all. It went all fucking Ringu. Is it Ringu? No. Yes. All the Grudge. Something Japanese.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. So it's the scene where she's in the bathroom, and the blood comes out, but this is like goddamn Evil Dead 2 level blood scene. Like
it literally covers the bathroom,
the entire room,
just
like it just
red,
gushes out of it. But the hair, because she's sitting in the bathtub and she's gotten the poem from Ben, and she's blown away, but she thinks it's Bill. And she starts to hear voices in the sink. Oh, that alone is just creepy.
Perfectly.
Yeah, and so smart, like because they're calling out to join her in the drain and all that. She goes and gets her dad's tape measure, puts it down, and it goes like the entire length of the tape measure.
Which is what she does in the book as well.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
nice.
It doesn't happen on the initial. Like, it doesn't happen all wrapped up like that. It happened because she has a couple of bathroom moments in the book.
Because it keeps coming back
until. The second
until.
one is that after she hits it for the first time, and then she goes back in the bathroom with the tape measure.
Right.
Yeah. I did that so well.
But when they brought it out and the hair was on it.
Yeah.
And then it just like tentacles.
Yeah.
Just vines.
Around her face. Because we saw a bit of that scene in the trailer. We actually see her over the sink. It's just like, why would you be leaning over the sink for that long? And it's like, because she's actually stuck there. Her hair's
and it was nice
caught around the sink.
It was right that they did change, because they just changed the color in the trailer to black, like so it was black ink. But this is blood. Yeah, it's a lot of blood. Yeah, it's so much goddamn blood.
Yeah, a lot of fucking blood.
And she is drenched. Like, so that was just fantastic.
They did that so well.
And already that place was strangely lit. Like, it's a very dark and musty apartment. Yeah. But having it red, it just gave it this otherworldly, horror about it.
Yeah, like luminous glow.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So that was a really good first. She doesn't even meet Pennywise in that bit. It's just that's her first. What would you call it? Interaction with the horror of Derry.
Yeah.
Who do you want to talk about next? Like,
well, Bill's one we saw in the trailer, where Georgie's like, "You'll float too, you'll float too."
And that was because if you've seen the trailer, you know that scene. Like, it's pretty much the entire scene. Yeah. That trailer. But they didn't in the trailer was show that Georgie fucking decomposes as he's saying that
in front of his face. Yeah,
man, that's cool.
In front of Bill. Oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Well, let's also talk about the first scene, Georgie.
Yeah, sorry, we didn't even talk about Georgie. Yeah. What did you like? You mentioned as we were leaving, you weren't a super fan of Georgie, like the actor.
No, I thought he was really good.
Oh, sorry, it was at the beginning. You were like with the trailers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how it was going to be, and then I was blown away by the Georgie.
It was really good.
The end interaction with George, but we'll talk about that soon.
Oh man,
just look at all his forward sizzle, baby.
Yeah,
but one thing that I didn't really like at the start was the way it was cool that they did it, that they pulled George in, but like I feel like the special effects, it's like CGI and stuff, wasn't great.
That's something we'll have to talk about for sure, because that is the biggest gripe I have.
Is the CGI?
Yeah, and
some of it's not great, is it?
It goes with the Muschetti, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a mama thing also, is it?
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk. We're going to talk about what we liked, and we'll talk about what I really didn't like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that.
But that interaction is fucking awesome.
Because that I did not expect it to be, like, biting. So it's Georgie in the storm drain trying to get his boat back, and Pennywise, instead of just ripping his arm off, bites his arm off, and Georgie is pulling himself into the street, and it's raining, and there's blood just going everywhere, and just gets dragged straight back in. Yeah. Whoa!
Bye, Georgie.
Yeah, bye, Georgie. Like, I did not expect, like, to be bitten. Like, yeah, that's fucking brutal.
Yeah. So they did it a bit differently in this movie as well, because in the book he's definitely dead, and in this, like, I read somewhere before that, like, our boy Muschetti said that Georgie's not actually, like, not quite dead yet, technically. Like, he's kind of
still around, maybe.
Yeah, like Pennywise was kind of almost like using him as like a conduit in this, almost like he's like possessed him.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
But I'm not sure. But that's what I gathered from what he said anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But then in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. This must be pissing people off. We're like, something awesome happened, but we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't want to miss anything either before we get to the end.
So we've seen Beverly's interaction with it. Eddie's was cool. The leper.
Oh yeah, the leper. The leper looked fucking awesome.
That was so really cool. Well. Like, he was disgusting.
I was really happy the leper was in that.
Me too.
And I was really happy Neibolt Street was in it because it wasn't in the miniseries.
Yeah, and it's a major part.
Yeah, which is important because it is fucking major in the book.
That surprises me. Like, from watching that they cut that out in the miniseries. From watching this, like, holy shit! Like, that must have been so much more doable in a fucking cave. Like,
yeah,
but
it was weird, wasn't it?
You know who's one I found scariest was Mike's.
Oh, with the hands?
The hands and just Pennywise in the slaughterhouse.
Oh, that's right. Just
hanging on the hook. Yeah, and then he pulls himself off and waves.
Yeah.
I found that really effective. Like, his eyes just start to glow. There's no inclination that he's actually going to attack. He's just like, hi, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm here. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm watching. I found that one really cool.
I got to admit, there were a couple of times when they interacted with Pennywise where it was literally like he almost grabbed him. Like when he's first,
Yeah, true.
With Georgie, in the basement, when he, like the You'll Float 2 thing. And then, and he's like the way Pennywise kind of tries to grab him and then he's like...
his eyes roll back and he slides away.
Yeah, he's like, I just missed him and slides
away.
away.
Oh, they do that with Ben's first one.
Yeah.
Like, same sort of thing. Like, Ben's one, though, is really cool. Because he's in the library. And he reads about the plant explosion on the Easter egg hunt.
Yep.
And gets freaked out by the image of the kid's head in the tree.
Yeah.
And so he's... all of a sudden he hears the chuckle and the red balloon goes across the back of the library and you just see a steaming Easter egg.
Yeah.
And he goes wandering down and he goes downstairs and this is probably like one of my favorite scares in the, like, I don't even know if you call it a scare because it was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. It was just like a kind of reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the charred body of the headless kid.
Yeah.
With like an armful of eggs wandering down the steps.
Yeah.
And like my favorite bit is when it stops and the egg falls out and just cracks on the ground and Ben just like, oh shit. Like,
yeah. It just starts bolting.
And mentioning oh shit, I loved that the kids, when they were like faced with something horrifying, they said, oh fuck, oh shit.
Fuck, shit.
Because no one seems to have that like genuine reaction in horror.
Yeah.
It's always, this is horrific.
Yeah.
It's like, no, oh fuck, look at that fucking thing. That's going to kill me.
What the fuck is going on? Oh shit, guys.
But, what? I think we're going to get too far on if we just keep rambling about like the first interaction.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about our favorite bits.
Okay.
Do you have a favorites?
Yeah. Okay, the way they revealed the deadlights.
That
like,
was
what was happening
really
with
good.
The deadlights and like why people are floating. Like, fuck, that was such a good visual representation of that.
That's the one thing they do right is Pennywise's kind of transformations and stuff like that. Like that was so his whole like each top of his face pulls back and it just reveals rows and rows and rows of teeth and the deadlights come out from the back of it. Oh, that was cool. Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah. I like the whole just this entity. Like it's just this shapeless being with rows and rows of teeth that is hidden beneath Pennywise. I really like that.
Yeah.
Like, that was really...
Man, I was fucking blown away by just Pennywise in general. They did it so well. I can't believe we haven't
talked about Pennywise. Yeah.
They did Pennywise so well.
Bill did an amazing job.
Heads?
Oh, and his voice. It's like he didn't have control over it in the best way possible. It did sound like a being trying to fake a human voice.
And he's just like perfectly deranged.
Yes.
the way that he fucks with Eddie.
Yeah.
In Kneebolt. So it's probably the Kneebolt house interaction is probably my favorite bit of the whole thing.
Is this when they're inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside. Oh man. So Eddie breaking his arm.
Yes, I'm so glad they did that.
Yeah, me too. Oh, and then Pennywise is down there with him, like.
And this is the folding out of the fridge bit as well.
Yeah, he folds out of the fridge and like Eddie's like lying there, just like he just fell through a floor.
Yeah, yeah.
And landed and broke a table, and snapped his arm, and Pennywise comes out of the fridge and like unbuckles himself. And then just starts fucking with Eddie before he decides to kill him.
He jumps in and grabs his face like, oh, like crying at him.
And then like feigning to like get him like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking so good, just toying with him.
He's having so much fun, and he says it a couple of times. It's like tasty fear and shit like that. So it's like he is having so much fun, scaring the shit out and getting the most amount of flavor out of them as possible.
Man, they did that so. Yeah, Pennywise is perfect.
Yeah,
like and the Kneebolt Street thing, and then when he hears Bill yell out for Eddie, Pennywise is just like, ooh,
and puts his hand on his face.
Yeah,
and looks away like, oh man, because he wants Bill.
Yeah,
it's not very. He doesn't make it obvious, but like he wants Bill.
Yeah,
like,
and I don't know why. Or maybe it's just because like it's easier to toy with him because of the whole Georgie thing. Maybe that's why. But maybe he just enjoys it. Yeah, he enjoys fucking with Bill more than the rest.
Everything about like the way he turns into their fears, like even that refrigerator scene, is because Eddie's afraid that he's broken his arm, so he pops out broken bones and dislocated and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, perfect.
Yeah,
like he really. Whoever wrote those scenes really captured how like that fear, that nightmare should be.
Yeah.
And like Stan's one, even though I hate the visual effects of it, we'll talk about that soon. Really effective, like that just warped face and tall, freaky ass, not just. Oh man, she's just so scary looking.
Yeah.
That who has that fucking painting?
Yeah.
Who bought that and put it up?
Who thought that was a good idea?
Who thought that? And who wouldn't think that their child would be terrified of it?
Mind. Yeah.
That's a crazy rabbi.
Yeah. That was a crazy rabbi. Yeah. It's in his office too. Like he wants to see it.
He sits there all day and looks at that fucking thing.
Jesus Christ.
That was a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. What was your favorite scene?
Man, like. It's a big part. I gotta say, Kneebolt Street for a big part of it, like that. Pretty much the entire them in the Eddie, Richie, and Bill in the house.
Yeah.
And just after Eddie's fallen in, they think they've seen the missing girl. And they
Betty rips him. Yeah.
And they go into that room, and then Richie gets split up into the clown room.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really liked that scene. Yeah, that was so good.
Right. He just Pennywise flies out of the coffin and just looks at Richie.
Yeah, because
beep Richie.
Beep Richie. Because it's revealed that Richie's afraid of clowns. Which I thought, come on! I wanted to see a really interesting fear, like some bugs or some shit like that.
Well, yeah, that was because in the book it was the werewolf. So it was a teenage werewolf. Yeah.
So he's faced with his greatest fear: a room full of giant clown dolls and tiny clown dolls. Just so many fucking clowns, and there's a nice Tim Curry doll in there as well.
Little Easter egg there.
But there's a coffin at the end of this room, and he walks up, and there's a fucking toy version of himself in it.
Yeah, with just like it's like being eaten by maggots.
Yeah. He just slams it down. Then Pennywise just jumps out of there, and it's. I think I know why I liked it so much. Like majority of the Pennywise thing, it's Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah,
it's got such a Freddy no rules feeling to it, and I love that. Like I love that there is no solution to the horrific thing.
Yeah.
And like even in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, the only way is to take a bunch of caffeine pills and never sleep in your life again.
Yeah,
that's the only way to defeat him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think 'cause I've got a real soft spot for that, and they even reference it in the movie.
I was gonna say that I had that written down.
They reference my favorite one. Fucking
number 5, right?
Yeah, Bill goes to meet Richie in the arcade, and there's the poster for Nightmare on Elm Street 5. I'm like, yes, the dream child.
Yeah. There was also one for Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah, and Batman.
And Batman. That's
and the
right.
Tim Burton Batman. Yeah,
that's right.
That's some nice touches. But yeah, back to that scene, and when like Bill and Richie get back together, like they're reunited, and the 3 doors appear.
Oh yeah,
that's it. Not so scary, very scary.
That was so fucking funny.
And like I thought for sure they'd be smart and like go for the scary one, very scary.
They go for the not very scary.
And there's the girl with no legs, like hanging from there's like this cupboard.
Yeah.
And just I love Richie just like, where's her fucking legs?
Yeah.
Like horrifying.
Where's her fucking legs?
Oh, like yeah, really creative, no rules scares. That's what I love. And back to, because a lot of people say Dream Warriors is the best Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 5 is my favorite, just on the kills alone, because there is no rules. There's one where he turns into a comic book character and slices the victim up as you slicing a piece of paper.
Yep.
I love that shit. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
But so yeah, any kind of those kind of cool transformations or ridiculous scares, I was just like, this is ticking so many boxes for me. And I guess like my other favorite is like the ending, like that whole final.
Let's go through that ending, man.
The setting alone of Pennywise's home, like everything I wanted and more. Like as a kid, I've mentioned a bunch of times throughout the Stephen King month, like being terrified of my stormwater drain because of it. And that's if you went to my head as a child and said, what do I think's down there? That's probably what it would have been. It's just this otherworldly. Why is that structure there?
Yeah. How can this fit down here?
Yeah.
Underground.
But like, why is this? What is the point of this open thing? And the only way to get in it is halfway down a well. Like, what's the point? I love it.
Yeah.
And the imagery of all the things
and just
that have floated down there,
and the way that all the dead kids are just floating.
They're genuinely floating.
It's like they're in orbit around the structure.
Yeah. And it goes so high up. It looks like 100 meters. Like
the way that they presented that.
Very good. Like
Bellissimo, baby. Bellissimo Bischetti.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You follow that's some of the moments where he's like the CGI that they use works.
Yeah.
It was very effective. But even like it's the base of this like tower of toys and collected garbage and the floating people is Pennywise the Dancing Clown's trailer.
Yeah, he's literally his trailer. Yeah,
and the fucking Jack in the Box in the pile, and it pops up, and then the carriage falls apart.
Yeah, and the
dance he does,
just dancing, and the way that they had the camera like pretty much like trained on his head, so like everything else was moving around. His head. Oh, that was like so off-putting.
Yeah, and it sounded like it was like boom, 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 just kicking bigger and bigger. Oh man, and he just had this look on his face, just like this is what I do down here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when I'm not terrorizing you, this is what I'm doing, having a little dance by myself.
Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Yeah. That final interaction with Georgie, fuck man, that broke my heart. Yeah, I was crying in that bit. Yeah, for sure.
I can't say I was crying.
Yeah.
But it definitely like, wow, he finally finds the thing he's looking for and knows it's not him.
Yeah.
But still like having to interact with him and him Pennywise reacting, like, speaking as Georgie would.
Yeah. And just the line that broke my heart was just when he was just like, what did he say?
You couldn't get home or something like
that?
No,
I just had it. Yeah, like, I couldn't get out of here. But he was just like, I lost it, Bill. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah,
it's just like,
that little brother thing. Like he's worried about losing the toy and not his own
Bill's
safety.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh,
he said he'd give it back to me.
So sweet.
Oh, little Georgie.
Because like, and like Bill, you see early on, he's like built and made like a model of the sewer system and try to figure out where it would run out, and he's figured out where Georgie is. Like,
man, like his dad's in it for like literally that bit just then, but fuck, that was good. I was really happy with that.
Yeah, I'm glad they had that
as well. Because like, and it's just like, fucking put it away. I've told you, and then he's just like, especially before your mother sees, like, it fucking destroy her. Like, what are you doing? I loved that. That was really
a good detail.
That was really good detail.
And there's a lot of,
and because he works for the dairy sewer system, like the water mate and something like that. So he's got all the plans of the sewer systems. Yeah.
I like that there was an arc. There was something for each of them to kind of get over. Yeah. And Bill's one is getting over Georgie's death. Yeah. And that was done so well. Like, as we're speaking that scene, he puts the bolt gun to him. And
shoots Georgie. Like,
straight in the forehead.
Right between the eyes.
And there's that really long pause where nothing's happening. And, like, all the kids are just like, oh my God, did you just do that? And I'm kind of like, oh shit, are they going to do this? Are they actually going to do it that Georgie was alive this entire time and they just killed him? But of course, no. It's Pennywise.
The way they do that too, the way they just like elongate all of his limbs.
Yeah.
And Pennywise just emerges from the body of... it's pretty much like that. It's fucking great. It was so good.
And that fight, so I just should have mentioned that is an outstanding fight with the kids and him just transforming into their fears on the spot. Yeah. Fuck. Right there and then.
The way, and the way that he does that too. Oh fuck.
Visual treat.
Yeah, like I'm kind of getting overwhelmed by the end bit now. Like it's so crazy. It's so good, and
so much amazing shit happened.
And right at the end, like as like Bill pulls out the nail gun, and like Mike loses all the ammo.
Yeah, he lost
trying to get down the well, and just goes,
it's not loaded.
And he goes, it's not loaded. He does know it's not loaded, right? Like, it's not loaded. And he shoots it, and it works because he believes, that kind of thing.
It's the Eddie's inhaler.
Yeah, the Eddie's inhaler thing.
Yeah. I like that. And it was, because then, like, the next bit, Pennywise is healed, but it's like Pennywise is going along with it too. That's what I've always felt, like Pennywise has to believe these things as well. Like, that's why it affected him.
Oh, yeah. And it's almost like, their courage is like what makes him weaker too.
Yes.
Like,
and in the end of this fight where they just lay the beat down on him, they put up such a fight.
And he bargains with them as well. So he's got Bill, and he bargains with the rest of them. He's like, I'll just take him. You guys can go. I'll just take him at least. Like,
yeah, and the way he's doing, like he's kind of like he's crouching down, kneeled over, like holding him like a fucking a gorilla holding its baby.
Yeah.
And just
almost protecting
his
him
face.
from them as well. Yeah, rubbing his face and stuff.
Like, I've got him.
Yeah, and man. He bargains with it, and then Richie just fucking
so good.
This is a great moment too. He's like, "This is all your fucking fault.
I told you this happened, Bill.
Like, and just keeps like rifling off all this stuff,
all the shit they've done,
and then just like picks up a baseball bat and just goes, fuck you, and just...
He's like, and now you're going to make me kill this fucking clown.
That's right. Thank you. I knew that was a perfect line that he says, yes.
And just fucking wails on fucking Pennywise.
Starts wailing on him.
I love that, and that's something that you don't often see is the kids actually fighting. You know what I mean? Like, they're really fighting, and I loved it. I loved every second of that scene.
Oh, man.
Because... yeah, they're giving it their all. He's turning into a mummy at one stage, and it's wrapped around Eddie's face and trying to pull him into his face. Yeah. Just so good. So good.
All right, now that we've fawned over it, let's talk about the things we didn't like.
Because there's a bunch of other things we could talk about, but we're just going to bore you.
Yeah.
We're going to ruin the entire movie.
Yeah, we'll be speaking for 3 hours otherwise.
My major gripe before this even came out was that Andy, how do you actually pronounce Muschietti?
Muschietti.
Muschietti.
Muschietti, yeah.
Either way, because he disappointed me with Mama. That was a movie I was really looking forward to, and when I got it, I was like, fuck, the CGI was so outdated, and like all scares were lost because he just kept showing Mama, And it was just a lot of like, man, really? He's going to do it? I really hope he's a fan of the series. Like, which was proven, obviously he loves the book and did a really fucking good job of bringing it to the screen. But he's brought some of these effects with him. Like, there's the one of the most... if you haven't seen the movie, you've seen the trailer where in that clown room where Pennywise jumps towards Richie, everything blurs around him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is not anime. We don't... I hated it. It's such a cheap effect.
He's not Goku going super speed.
Fuck. Like, and it happens a lot when he's doing a scare, like he'll run up and scream and he's shaking his head and all that.
Yeah. Which you'll see in the trailer when in the basement.
Yeah, he runs up out of the water.
Yeah.
Which is still a really good, cool scene, but just those unnecessary effects. It still would have been terrifying with him just running out and shaking because the water would have been flicking off him from his hair and all that sort of shit. We didn't need the motion blur of the entire room and all that. Like, it just instantly took me out of some of those scenes. Like, it's still effective with the sound design and all that sort of stuff, but that just really hit me wrong, and I just hated seeing it throughout. It's like, fucking hell, man! This could be done real. What you're doing in special effects. Yeah. And thankfully, that the fucking cinematographer is outstanding. Yeah, he's dude who did Old Boy, so you know you're working with a professional. And like I had a couple.
It did look beautiful.
I had a couple of laughs where it's like, man, this dude loves Dutch angles. Like, but they are effective. They really, a beautifully shot film. So it made up for it in some of these shitty, machete effects. But like, the big one that made me, you heard me.
You audibly.
I just went, what?
Yeah.
The fuck? Like
the garage scene?
The garage scene.
Yeah.
The projector scene. One of the biggest parts of the trailer.
How fucking good is the lead up to it?
So good. And they fucking ruined it.
Yeah, like they did. Yeah.
They wasted that build up because that whole scene was built up from the trailer alone.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, yes, we got to it. We're finally going to get to it.
Everybody look at the trailer and look at Bill's pointing finger.
Yeah, you'll see really the ET-ness of it.
Yeah, it's super ET. It's super ET.
ET. Yeah, but this scene, after you've seen it and like, he's been revealed and the projector, the slides are going.
Yeah.
They're all trying to figure out like what to do with it and how to turn it off, and Mike kicks it over and it's on an angle. Giant Pennywise comes out of the screen. And it's so badly done with the way like the shutter is flickering. Yeah, they slowed it down for some reason. So there's a few moments of blackness, then Pennywise has moved. A few moments of blackness, Pennywise has moved, and it looked like fucking Son of the Mask, like the worst goddamn CGI, cartoony. Like he didn't even look. It looked like one of those viral videos that you used to get on an email where it's like, hey, watch this closely, and something would jump up and scare the shit out of you. Yeah. That's what it looked like. Yep. And I would, fuck.
You know what it reminded me of? The It miniseries. When he's like halfway out the thing, like still in the wall, but halfway out. It reminded me of the miniseries.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I could see that. Like it was just cheap. And
it was. I didn't like
so cartoony. This from such a disappointment from such a very effective build up. Very well done with their sheer bewilderment of what is going on, and then it's a fucking giant Pennywise who's solves the day by Ben opening the fucking garage door. Like, come on.
And then the moment after that, so when Ben opens the garage door, so Bev's caught, by Pennywise.
He basically saves her.
Yeah, and she just walks up to him and goes, "Thanks, Ben," and then turns over to Bill and like gives him a huge hug. It's like Bill didn't do anything. Yeah, I've got to admit that relationship between like that love triangle with Ben, Bill, and Bev. Fuck, that was hard to say. I just realised that.
It didn't. It felt a bit tacked on, didn't it?
They can't seem to get that right. I think there's just too much, like, especially in the book. There's a lot of nuance to like that entire relationship there, and it's kind of, it just feels a bit. Yeah, doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right.
Like it almost felt like the whole. It just should have left it. Like when it should have stopped when in the Friends cleaning montage.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Cleaning Friends montage. We got another montage. Yes. Cleaning
Thank
Friends
God we got a
montage.
montage. But they finished up. They finished
we laughed
up.
so hard
Oh,
when that
we
happened,
pissed
didn't we?
ourselves.
We just looked at each other like, fuck.
Yes. But like in that scene at the end of it, everyone's outside like throwing out the rubbish and all that because they got to clean an entire room, bathroom of blood. And Bev starts to recite the poem that she's received, and Bill's like, I don't know much poetry.
Yeah.
That's where it should have ended.
Yeah.
And then it should have picked up with Ben at the end when he does the kiss to bring her out of the float.
And straight away she knows it was him. And
yeah.
Like, oh, our boy Ben.
And then there's that bit where you at the end when they're all leaving, and you can tell Ben just like, oh, fucking Bill, you're such a fucking third wheel. I'm going home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you just fuck off, mate? We already kissed.
Exactly.
God damn it.
I pretty much just fucking saved her. All right.
Can't tits get a break?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's one other thing that annoyed me, that Bev needed saving.
Yes, that was a weird. I did not like that. That was part of it.
No, they all go in together.
That was weird. I get it for a plot device, but like, I don't know. Maybe there should have been something else. It should have been like in the book, them just going down to kill him.
Yeah, just making the decision to go do it. Yeah.
So that was a wasted opportunity. Like, she did get to beat the shit out of him and all that, and fight and all that.
Yeah.
It just felt like a bit. And even like you said, like, why didn't Pennywise just kill her anyway? Like, he doesn't kill her because she's not afraid of him. So he shows her the dead lights, and that's when she starts to float. But yeah, it just felt like a bit of an unnecessary shit. We need a plot device. We need to get from here to here. How do we do that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not a fan when you have a strong female character and then you make her the damsel.
Yeah.
Make fucking Stan the damsel.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that could tie into half the reason why he ends up fucking killing himself too. Like, you could make that a device as to why. Because
in the, I don't know if it's in the book, but definitely in the miniseries, Stan is the one who gets the most one-on-one interaction with Pennywise in the sewers. Like when the kids, he gets pulled aside. So that would have made sense if it was them going down to get him, because Pennywise has just pulled him in there. Like he already gets affected.
He already gets affected by it all anyway.
Yeah, he's
the weakest link. So it
would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah,
because I felt like she would have put up a hell of a fight against Pennywise when he first came across her. So yeah, that was a weird choice. So it felt like someone had like the basic template for a horror movie, and they forgot to change that bit where the female lead has to become a damsel.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's not like we were talking about how badly he wants Bill for some reason. But like, Bill would have gone down there for any of them as well. So
it didn't need to be Bev,
and everybody would follow Bill.
Yeah, that was a bit of an unnecessary plot device.
And one of the other things, just before they go into Nebolt Street, when he's like, all right, who wants to stand out here and stand guard? And they all put up their hands except for Bev.
Yeah.
And then Bev isn't the one who ends up going into the house with them.
Yeah. What the fuck?
It's weird, isn't it?
Some weird choices.
Yeah.
Some really weird choices.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Richie is there to break a bottle and realizes he broke too much of it.
Fuck, that was so funny. He smashes the bottle, and everyone just looks at him. Then he's just like, he's holding the bottle top, and then he just goes and just fucking throws it. Just like, that was pointless. It was fucking great.
So good.
So good.
There's some really good, like, just visual jokes in this as well. Like when they realize that Mike need to be saved. They all just throw their bikes down, and Stan puts the fucking peg on and leaves it, puts it up.
Puts the kickstand down.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing said, just does it.
And Belch wearing his Anthrax and Metallica shirt.
Yeah, metal up your ass.
That was great.
Yeah, and that rock fight was really good. That was a much more satisfying rock fight than in miniseries.
Really fucking good.
Like, they nailed them a couple of times.
That had some real fun in it. It's something we talk about a lot on this podcast, but the heart, man.
Yeah,
the heart.
It had it.
We talk about this a lot, but fuck, this had all the heart, man.
I need to like the person who needs to survive. I I shouldn't be there going, come on, killer,
exactly.
kill him,
Yeah,
kill that kid, do it. No, so yeah, this one, yeah, it had the heart, which was good, and it needed to capture that.
Like earlier when I mentioned that, like I was crying, like I'm not lying. I cried a couple of times in this movie.
I looked over at one stage and I'm like, wow. It must have done something great.
Yeah.
And got to say,
I got to admit, I do cry a fair bit in cinemas though. I think it's just the environment and the atmosphere too.
But I'm not ashamed to say I choked up in the scene where they cut their hand and hold hands.
Yeah, me too.
That's beautiful.
Because that's always my favorite things is like the coming together of everybody. That's like I remember I was at work one night, at Brush Park.
Oh, that place
where we used to work together. And How to Train Your Dragon 2 was on TV.
Yeah.
And there's a moment and it was such a long day. I was so tired. Like I was finally finishing up and I was cleaning up and I saw the moment in How to Train Your Dragon 2 where they all banded together and I fucking got teary just then.
Yeah.
Like just being at work. Like, I mean, I'm that kind of guy. I'm a sucker for that shit.
Yeah.
For sure. And this, there were so many moments like that where I was just like, this is the fucking best.
I'm a sucker for kids having to go up against an unspeakable horror.
Yep, me
that
too.
I just love it every single time. And this is exactly what this movie ticked so many of my niche boxes.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for in a horror movie. Like, you got Freddy elements, you got fucking just Stephen King moments. Like it felt like a Stephen King movie.
It did feel Stephen King.
Yeah.
It did feel like Stephen King.
Just so good.
Yeah.
Gore was good. The scares were good. And for jump scares, they were not annoying.
No.
Nowhere near cheap. And there was no cats thrown on fucking pianos.
Thank you.
It was replaced with a kid screaming, which it should be.
Yeah.
It should be people screaming.
This is where I was just like, okay, this is going to be like, we're going to be all right when it comes to that kind of shit. Was when Georgie goes down to the basement at the start.
Yeah.
And sees the two light bulbs that are like reflecting off something. They look like eyes. And just the way that he kind of like just turns the flashlight on and has a look, it's like, yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, it was a slight music cue, but it wasn't
a. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I was like, okay, this is going to be all right. We're going to be okay here. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like I didn't turn away once, so like I wasn't hugely terrified. So which meant I could enjoy it more.
I did see Zach a couple of times, like in his chair, like I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Good on Zachy. Yeah.
But,
so, what else can we say about this movie without us just like continuing to gush?
I want to just share one thing. Like when we were in the theater, there was one bit where I lost my shit. Because I was enjoying watching people in front of us like jolt and shit like that. I can't remember what scene it was. I think it was the the Eddie thing. There's just one dude. Something scary came up on the screen, and one dude's just gone, "Oh shit!"
It was very like 2 rows behind us or something.
He's just like, "Oh, not more scary stuff."
It's always just like, what have I done?
This film is defeating him.
What kind of decision have I just made? And this is very halfway through as well. It's just like, oh, this is the movie, is it?
Yeah. Just, oh shit.
Oh shit. That tickled me so much. Oh my god.
And then usually you can often get an audience at a horror movie just awful, just terrible people, just yelling at anything and just being dicks. But this was everyone was
don't go in there, dude.
Everyone there just was there to see it.
It seemed like we had a really good group of people that we saw.
They laugh when they were supposed to laugh. They jump when they're supposed. And I heard a couple people were like, "Oh yeah, that." So it's like cool. Yes. There was fans there as well.
There were fans there. Yeah.
Who were doing what we were doing and overanalyzing it. And
Yeah. Fuck. What a good night.
This was, what a way to end Stephen King month.
Yeah.
Like, we said beforehand, we didn't even think this movie was ever going to be made.
Yeah.
So, to see it and for it to be good.
Yeah.
Man, I'm a happy man.
Me too. I'm so happy.
It's so nice when a movie's got such hype behind it. Like, it even had a fucking mini game on the web browser. You're popping balloons in the sewer. Yeah. It was good. Like I said, a horror movie to have so much hype, so much money put behind it.
Promo, the promo and stuff as well, the marketing,
Can't wait for chapter 2.
Yeah, well,
they better fucking follow
through.
through.
Let's. I guess we should finish on that.
Yeah.
Shall we? That when it all finished up, it came up and said chapter 1, implying that we are getting chapter 2. Because originally, when Cary Fukunaga was signed on to direct it to begin with, it like the plan was for 2, but then when it seems like when our boy Muschietti came on board, part 2 was kind of like nixed for the time being, and they've been kind of coy about part 2.
Yeah,
but then why be coy about it when right there and then right at the end of the movie you put on chapter 1? It's kind of a bit of it's a bit assumptive.
They could have got away with it.
Yeah, but it's almost like, from what I've heard from The Mummy, apparently it has like, it comes up with like the like monster universe or whatever at the end of it.
Oh,
like,
yeah, the dark universe.
Yeah, that's right, dark universe. I always forget that. But like putting that in, it's just like, fuck.
You screwed yourselves now.
The stones on these guys, man.
Yeah.
The stones.
Look at those cajones.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think I would have wanted to see part 1 if I didn't expect there to be a part 2, to be honest.
Because it makes no sense how much they, like, at the end, if they were going to go that route and just make this a solitary film and just focus on the kids, there shouldn't have been that pact at the end with, we'll come back if it comes back and blah, blah, blah. And then putting a chapter 1 on there, it's like, guys, don't shoot yourselves in the foot. Like, I don't know. It feels like an executive decision. Yeah, that's true. Because like, you look at the Insidious series, like, just do what they did in the Insidious chapter 2. Like, it makes sense instead of calling it 2. It's it chapter 2 once it comes out. So it better goddamn come out. Yeah, exactly. Eddie better be bald. Yes, I agree. Who do you want to play some of the characters? Man, I can't picture them, like, because all I can see is the kid actors now as well. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? And all I see is the 90s ones as well. So it's like, this has been put in my brain because I was reading Street Press, the music today, and they talked about that because there was an embargo on reviews. So, you know who they mentioned for Bill? Who? Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. I could see that with the kid actor. Mm-hmm. Is he tall enough? Because the kid is tall, and kind of imply that he's going to be a tall, lanky guy. I'm not sure. But as soon as I read that, I just got super excited. I was like, "Oh fuck, Ewan McGregor and it together!" Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. So cool. And they also, I can't remember who else they mentioned, but they mentioned they said Bill Hader for Eddie. Okay, I'd rather see him as Richie. Yeah. No, but look at Finn Wolfhard. Actually, looking at their faces, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I could totally see him playing Richie. And then somebody said Amy Adams for Bev, because she looks fucking like Sophia Lillis, like crazy. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I reckon that'd be good. Yeah. I'm just very interested to see what they do with that. This one, like, I kind of would be interesting if like its grotto is moved. Oh yeah. That'd be interesting. Like, he's kind of, I don't know. Yeah, they're very open. Like, I feel like they're gonna change the story a bit. Yeah. Well, if they do chapter 2. Yeah. Well, with the coyness as well. Apparently, I think they're talking about bringing the kids back as well, and doing flashbacks as well. Okay. Yeah. But I don't know why. Why or how that would fit in to the timeline of part 1. You know, unless it was like re-showing a different, they're doing a flashback to what they happened to them, but showing a different piece to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like maybe, a different angle to show something that the kids missed when they were younger. Or that's true. Yeah, something like that. Along those lines. Yeah. Well, let's not speculate because we don't even know if it's happening yet. So. It could be like 2 years away, 2 or 3 years away until it actually comes out. So, and I'm kind of like, take as much time as you need because you guys needed so much time to get this right. Yeah. So, you have my blessing to take as long as you need. I'm happy if they take a lot of time with the next one, just so they get it right. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. Yeah. Thanks for listening to this entire month. Yes, thank you so much, guys. It all built up to this very moment, pretty much. So it was the reason why we did Stephen King month, and like, it's a fucking blast. We had so much fun doing Stephen King month. Like, there is going to be more special months coming up. Like,
yeah.
we're going to take a little break and go back to like a semi-normal,
Yes, semi-regular kind of basis.
Yeah.
Rather than just like pounding them out when we can.
But there's something. I'm a cooking to something up.
I'm a cooking.
Something good.
Just like a mama used to make.
Big bowl of muschetti.
Yeah, a big bowl of muschetti. All right, so next week we have another guest episode.
Yeah.
Which will be popping out on Wednesday. So
a good mate, Nick Capper.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that little baby.
Gem.
Yeah. So if you guys want to hit us up, tell us what you thought of it.
Yeah. Did you do what we did and go see it opening day?
Yeah. Yeah. So let us know. Hit us up on the Facebook or Twitter at itmumpod or itmumpod@gmail.com. That's ITMOMPOD. Nice and simple. I'm fucking knackered. It's 10 to 12 and I'm going to edit this shit and put it straight out.
Goodness gracious.
So shouldn't be up for too much longer.
Enjoy this exclusives.
Yeah, exactly. Exclusives, baby. So obviously I just nearly said spoiler alert, like at the end.
At the fucking end.
Oh, nice.
God damn, that'd be really funny if someone was right at the end. It's like,
they're just like, oh,
I bet it just turns it off.
They'd say, oh, that was the new one, was it? Oh, fuck. All right. Thank you so much for listening, guys. It's been a fucking blast this month. So I'm so glad we got to see that fucking A+. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes is very well deserved, I think. Yeah, just very well deserved.
Easily the best horror film I've watched this year.
Yep.
Like, so good.
Yeah, so good. All right.
I am officially satisfied.
Yeah, I am too, actually. I am too. So we'll cease gushing.
Yes.
And next week, a bit more of a relaxed episode.
Yeah.
And we'll see where we go from there, guys.
Some friendly chats.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see you next week, guys, with Nick Capper.
Float in horror.
Float in horror.